on the last lap on the front end of a motorcycle. You saw how tentative Bullington was into turn 8 then. No wheels on the floor. He's just doing the last lap. Oh, that's hero down. No, he won't be happy. It's off quickly. But here we go, Greg. 3 corners to go. And it was an unbelievable weekend for the Turkish rider.
Yes, let's just pause and watch him for a moment as he comes through the penultimate corner, turn 15. Here he goes.
Absolutely faultless. Donington and maybe Donington at the home race, we can get some decent results.
There's 2 points as a wildcard. Tito Rabat just behind him, celebrating Pachetti's 30 years of racing, on target for that last point in 15th place. Still plenty of rumours around in the Super Sport class. As we go back more towards a stock configuration for World Superbikes. Here's Tito Rabat then, and that's the last point if he stays where he is.
Just shows you, doesn't it, with Michele Grillo just in front of Tito Rabat here.
Go for the final one of the weekend. Here it is alongside him on the run to the first corner. Emilia Iannone on the yellow bike. How did they not touch there? And it closes up to third. Toprak down to 5th here from pole position, side by side now with see this coming. Emilia leads. Iannone is second. Alex Lowe's is third. Toprak on the right. Locatelli on the left. The Honda's made a great start too. Emilia Romagna. Oh, and down goes Michael Rinaldi.
Toprak in this race too, and Bullington's got the whole shot massively. How aggressive was Iannone in that first corner?
Andrea Iannone is up into 6th position. He's coming down from here. Loads at the inside. Toprak taking Locatelli. Iannone running wide, and they're all piling through. Toprak making 2 there. He's done Locatelli as well. Right, that's 3rd place.
I'll tell you what, that was front tyre, and on his earlier laps, you just got to make sure it's going to hook up for you, especially in those tight areas.
He's attacking the green Kawasaki. Here he comes in the car ahead. Toprak sides his way towards the right-hand side of that Kawasaki, and that's 2nd place. So he's starting. He fell to be 4th, now 2nd.
Get him on the left-hand side, though, Toprak on that SC2. These next 2 corners, you don't go round too many lefts here at Misano, but look at the feeling, the aggression, and the confidence that BMW is giving him. He almost came from behind Alex Lowe's into there.
Great getaway from Danilo Petrucci, running around in 7th place on the Barney Sparks captain despite that injury after the and from Iker Lecuona, 7th, 8th and 9th, look at Bassani. He's attacking Iannone. Iannone's going backwards. There was a wave from BMW in the background as well. Iannone completely bullied off the side of the circuit.
From 2nd all the way down to 10th in 1 lap is really unusual for him.
Yeah, having briefly been in the lead at the very first corner, so 9 places he's dropped so far. And out of the race with the MIE Honda of Norway 21, 18 to go including this one, and this is your duel at the front.
Right, Nick Toprak, you wanted a scrap for it. I think he's got that in this one. Six. The Toprak has got to offer something. He's actually still just poking away from the BMW rider. You can see there, that's a brilliant shot of the drone, just to see exactly what the distances are from that top three.
Yeah, it's really delivering some brilliant angles, isn't it, this weekend? Here's since Phillip Island, and this time he can be confident about that one because he's had sprint podiums. But he hasn't been on a long race podium since Phillip Island. And what's that, 4 months ago? 4 months ago. At the start of the season, but with Hungary having now been cancelled, extra rules being drafted in. At the end of the year, we will have 5 rounds in the space of 7 weeks to conclude the World Superbike Championship this year. Look at Iannone, he's now been Yamaha.
Just looking at the lap times of Jonathan Ray here, right on cue from the director. I was just about to talk about him because he's doing exactly the same laps times as Locatelli. He was a half a second slower every single lap. He's similar to Lely more or less. Oh, you know, he's wide again. There must be some issue with his Ducati. So keep an eye on that, Andrea, but he's not having a good time of it at all, is he?
He looked over his left shoulder, didn't he, as he rejoined there, and you can see that Jonathan Ray is closing in quickly. By the way, fastest lap of the race has just got through to 1.3. Here they are. Brilliant news for Toprak here on lap 5. This is a lovely, lovely situation.
It's incredible how Toprak can just lean it in and get it into the apex, but look at this. It's an absolute showcase of brilliance. That's all I can say. We've run out of expletives on how big this man is. Now the back's trying to see the splits are coming down again. Yes, they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone from 1.3 to 1 second. This race is not done. It's a bit of a session, this one, with Nicola Bullock with a bit of fresh air in front of him, but this man, he's not going to give it up. He wanted 3 out of 3, didn't he? And it's still on the cards.
Who started off his racing career having moved across from Turkey in the IDF German Championship in the Yamaha Cup. There's Bullinger, there's Toprak. Toprak then moved into Red Bull, particularly happy in that paddock over in MotoGP. That's something you might want to think about if you think he's going there in future years. He moved into the World Superbike paddock at the end of 2014. His first race in Superstock 600 with a one-off at the end of the year at Manicure in France. He was champion in Superstock 600 in 2015. He narrowly missed out in Stock 1000. He was his first World Superbike win at Manicure, and that's again another engine blow for Yamaha. Ertel on Friday, and the second for Tommy Agata. Smoke everywhere, and he stopped down at turn 1. Let's hope the smoke technical problem, and Agata out of the race. Continues to make inroads below 1.5, and it was 1.3. Now it's 1.1. But what's going on at the moment? Under a second now for the first time. But what's going on with the Yamaha problems? His reliability to have 3 break down when we saw Locatelli at first race, didn't we? So they're blowing up every single race at the minute in World Superbikes, but look at this. Toprak is into his turn 14 hairpin. Oh, look at that. It must be 2 or 3 back ends, and he pulls back on the Ducati. This is warming up nice, Greg. It certainly is. It's 11 points between the two. If it stays like this, he could be ahead of Baptista if it stays like this. Baptista, in the meantime, is lapping quicker than he has in the race so far. He's down in 4th spot. He's half a second quicker than Alex Lowe. So look in the background, Baptista's catching Lowe's. Now there is a flag out here warning them of a possible lack of adhesion down at the first chicane, because we've just seen the very smooth Tommy Agata. They've got through, but look at this, a 33.3, another fastest lap for Toprak, half a second now.
It's incredible with an SC2 front tyre, obviously a half dozen laps on as well as the track temperature of 45.5 degrees. That is an incredible lap, and I wouldn't want to be Nicola Bullock. I've seen his pit board every single time going from 1.1 seconds, 0.9 of a second, 0.8. He's going to get +0.
And that's
close to exceeding track limits there. But like I say, this next time round for Nicola Bulliga, the inline four-cylinder motorcycle. We know how much horsepower it's got. Toprak talks about it every weekend, and they'll be needing every single bit of it to get past this heat point.
About a future Adriatico as well, possibly in 2026, I believe. Time will tell. Out of the last corner, on board with Toprak. The MW though, if you're listening to the engine he was just talking about, must be a little bit concerned, James, considering the other bike of Adriatic has just retired with a technical problem into the pit lane. And remember, Toprak had an engine blow at the top of Weekly Heights in the Sunday afternoon race in Australia, Phillip Island, at the start of the season. But it's just 0.2 of a second now. It's taken him about 3 laps to take 1.5 seconds out of it. Here's Van der Mark. Rather annoyed, to put it very mildly indeed. But what about Toprak?
He's 1.5 to 2 seconds every single lap faster than the maneuver we'll be using. Here comes Toprak in the turn 8. Bulliga, you've got a race on your hands.
It looks as though he's trying to get up alongside. I think Toprak's ahead. It is. He said earlier on he was despondent, wasn't he, that he couldn't respond in the sprint race. Is Toprak now going to pull away once again? What will be his third career trouble? But Bulliga's passed 3 people into this very next corner. Early on the weekend. This is 165 through here.
Getting ready for that manoeuvre if Bulliga was going to try it, but Bulliga can just sit behind Toprak now and see where the vehicle is. He's followed him all the time in race 1. He followed him all the time in the sprint race. I think by now he knows where he's fast.
I remember what Toprak said to me in the interview as well at the top of the weekend. He had that crash when he was doing Supermoto in Turkey. He damaged his right shoulder. Despite that, despite using different front tyres here across the weekend, he adapts to every separate circumstances. But Bulliga's not letting him go just yet. 13 remaining. This is that night of
Twists in the championship and to watch, and it's a pleasure to commentate on.
This is why Bautista said, I've been so surprised to be leading the championship, but some people said, oh come on man, you're talking rubbish, he's sandbagging, he's pretending he's struggling, well he's going to be third in the championship if it stays like this. Dave Recchio in there with the rider assistant and crew chief for Alex Lowe. What a lovely touch that the branding there on Perro's glasses matches the colour of his team shirt. I'm sure that's not a coincidence, because attention to detail is what Perro was all about. The development of that Ruby motorcycle it's existing as a road machine, what they call a homologation special. You need 150 of them made by the end of that first year. They've already tested once, Mario Marino and Alex Lowe. We can tell you that Barcelona race. Now, this is really struggling to say this. Jonathan Ray fighting for 10th position. Crash yesterday, and the bad news is Iannone behind him on the yellow bike is upping half a second quicker. This ride shouldn't go unnoticed. All of a sudden, from somewhere, Scott Redding's up 8 positions, 20th to 12th.
He found something in the warm-up. He was in the top 10 in warm-up, so I think he's benefiting from that with Scott. But he still won't be happy riding down in these positions. It's a lonely position to be in when you are expected to be much higher. Sam Lowe's is going to hopefully see the checkered flag this time. 2 DNFs in both races, so this is really, really important that he finishes this race, gets the data from the team, and he move on to Donington, and maybe Donington at the home race, we can get some decent results.
There's 2 points as a wildcard. Tito about just behind him, celebrating Pachetti's 30 years of racing, on target for that last point in 15th place. Still plenty of room around in the Super Sport class. As we go back more towards a stock configuration for World Superbikes. Here's Tito Rabat then, and that's the last point if he stays where he is.
It just shows you, doesn't it, with Michele Pirro just in front of Tito Rabat here, how different MotoGP bikes are to ride compared to Superbike. There's a real testing that Michele Pirro does, and how fast and competitive he is because of the experience on that bike. You can't just go to Superbike and be competitive now. You can't just go to MotoGP without experience. Oh, he's still sideways and be competitive there. They are very, very different. The one thing Toprak's got to maybe just judge the timing right, because we know the rules are changing in 27 to 850cc bikes. Less devices. Would it be better for him to go then when everything's completely brand new? But that's a long time, and he's not the youngest kid. Toprak, 27, he's 28 this year, isn't he? So can he wait till he's 30? I don't think so. But here we are on the last lap break here, and Toprak is looking like doing the treble.
MotoGP, and he certainly not denied that. There's rumours around the paddock about that. Because they certainly need to win. But look at them down at BMW. I sat with Sean on the pitboard, James, on Thursday afternoon, and we had a chat, and he said, I just wanted to calm down a bit. He's saying he can go out and win all 3 races. He's not saying I'm going to win all 3, but he's saying I know I can win all 3 and the championship. On the last lap, he's only to hold the back straight, 5 seconds, and look, Batista is nowhere to be seen. I mean, it's going to see a BMW do a treble here.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? We've said how special this man is on a motorcycle to be unicycling on the last lap on the front end of a motorcycle. You saw how tentative Bulega was into turn 8 then. No wheels on the floor. He's just doing the last lap. Oh, that's maybe a go down. Oh, he won't be happy. It's not touching. Should move it up quickly. But here we go, Greg. 3 corners to go. And it was an unbelievable win for the Turkish rider.
Yes, let's just pause and watch him for a moment as he comes through the penultimate corner, turn 15, here he goes.
Faultless, absolutely faultless.
Serenely on his way. Turn 16, out of turn 16. Toprak dominates, Misano 24. Toprak does the treble at the Emilia Romagna.